Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to the channel. Get ready, what's about to happen hasn't occurred since the 1870s, and most people have no idea it's coming. On March 30, Neptune, the planet of dreams, spirituality, and illusions, will leave Pisces and enter Aries, triggering a cosmic shift that will affect everyone on this planet for the next 14 years. This isn't just another planetary movement. This is a once-in-a-lifetime, once-in-7 lifetimes event. The last time Neptune entered Aries, the telephone had just been invented. That's how rare this is. And the energy shift. It's going to be massive, life-altering, and impossible to ignore once it hits. But here's the thing, there's one specific aspect of this Neptune shift that almost nobody is talking about, and it could completely change how this energy affects you personally. I'll reveal it later in this video, so keep watching. Missing this could mean missing the biggest spiritual opportunity of your lifetime. Before we get to that, you need to understand what's really happening, because this shift isn't just about astrology. It's about your soul's evolution. On March 30th, we're not just witnessing a planet changing signs, we're experiencing a complete rewiring of humanity's spiritual operating system. Neptune has been floating through Pisces, its home sign, since 2011, creating a dreamy, compassionate, but often confusing energy. But now, everything changes. The mystical gets ignited by fire, the spiritual becomes a warrior, and your deepest dreams, they're about to demand action. The 150-year portal is opening. This isn't just rare, it's historic. The Neptune and Aries portal hasn't opened since 1875. Think about that. Your great-great-grandparents might have been the last in your bloodline to experience this energy. This is generational. This is karmic. This is bigger than you can possibly imagine. When a planet as powerful as Neptune, which governs the unseen realms, spiritual connection, and the collective subconscious moves into a completely new sign after 14 years, it doesn't just shift energy. It shifts timelines. It shifts destinies. It shifts what's possible. And Aries isn't just any sign, it's the first sign of the zodiac, the pioneer, the warrior, the initiator. When Neptune, the planet of dreams, merges with Aries, the sign of action, we're not just getting a new cycle, we're getting a spiritual revolution. The last time Neptune entered Aries, we saw the rise of spiritual movements that completely transformed society. New religious perspectives emerged. Mystical practices that had been hidden for centuries suddenly became accessible, and the way humans connected with the divine fundamentally changed. And now, it's happening again. But this time, the shift is even more significant. Why? Because we're more awakened now. More people are spiritually conscious than ever before in recorded history. More souls are ready to receive this activation. So when this 150-year portal opens on March 30th, it's not just a rare astrological event. It's the beginning of a spiritual renaissance. And you're alive to witness it, to be part of it, to ride this cosmic wave into a completely new version of yourself and humanity. But there's a catch. Not everyone will feel this shift the same way. Some will miss it completely. Others will be overwhelmed by it. And that brings us to what happens next. Dreams will demand action. Now, your most sacred visions are about to catch fire. For the past 14 years, with Neptune and Pisces, dreams have been gentle whispers, subtle nudges, misty visions that felt beautiful but often remained just out of reach. That dreamy, sometimes confusing Neptune in Pisces energy made it easy to escape into fantasies without ever making them real. But that ends now. Neptune in Aries doesn't whisper, it shouts. It doesn't nudge, it pushes. It doesn't suggest, it commands. The dreams you've been carrying, the visions that have been haunting you, the spiritual insights you've received but haven't acted on, they're about to become urgent. The universe is done waiting for you to find the courage. Neptune in Aries will ignite these dreams with such fierce intensity that sitting on them will become more painful than the risk of pursuing them. This isn't gentle, flowing Pisces energy anymore. This is fire. This is initiation. This is the spiritual warrior awakening within you. You might find yourself suddenly unable to tolerate situations that don't align with your soul's purpose. That job that drains your spirit, that relationship that dims your light, that compromise you've been making with your calling. Neptune in Aries will make these misalignments feel unbearable. And here's what most people don't realize. This isn't punishment. This is liberation. Because when Neptune transits Aries, your highest vision for your life stops being a fantasy and starts being a mission. Your spiritual connection stops being an escape and starts being your power source. Your intuition stops being a gentle guide and starts being your fiercest ally. So if you've been waiting for a sign to pursue that dream, to make that leap, to follow that calling, this is it. Neptune in Aries doesn't believe in someday. It only knows now. You'll start seeing through illusions. Remember when I told you there's one crucial aspect of this Neptune shift that almost nobody is talking about? This is it. Neptune isn't just the planet of dreams and spirituality. It's also the planet of illusions. And when it enters Aries, those illusions are about to be burned away. For years, Neptune in Pisces has created a collective fog, beautiful in its own way. It's been easy to get lost in wishful thinking, to mistake fantasy for reality, to believe what we want to believe rather than what is. But Neptune Aries brings clarity through action. The illusions you've been living under, whether they're about your relationships, your career, your spiritual path, or even your identity, they're about to be exposed in ways you can't ignore. This won't always feel comfortable. In fact, it might feel like waking up from a beautiful dream into a reality that demands your attention. But here's the gift. Once you see clearly, you can act decisively. This clarity is most likely to hit you in areas where you've been passive, where you've been making excuses, where you've been telling yourself stories that keep you stuck. Maybe you've convinced yourself that you're not ready to pursue your purpose. Maybe you've been believing that someone else will save you. Maybe you've been waiting for perfect conditions before taking a leap. Neptune in Aries is about to cut through these illusions like a hot knife through butter. And when it does, you'll be left with a truth so clear, so undeniable, that action becomes inevitable. Some people will resist this clarity. They'll cling to their comfortable illusions, their familiar fog. And for them, this transit will feel chaotic, even frightening. But for those who are ready to see clearly, to face reality with courage, this Neptune shift will be the most liberating energy they've ever experienced. So here's my warning. If there's an area of your life where you've been avoiding the truth, prepare yourself. Because after March 30, that avoidance won't be possible anymore. The veil is lifting, and what you do with what you see will determine everything that comes next. Your spiritual identity will transform. Who are you beyond your name, your job, your relationships, your past? Who are you at the level of soul? These aren't philosophical questions anymore. They're urgent matters that Neptune in Aries is about to bring front and center. For the past 14 years, Neptune in Pisces has dissolved boundaries between us. It's emphasized unity consciousness, the idea that we're all one, all connected, all part of the same spiritual ocean. Beautiful, yes, but also potentially disorienting. It's been easy to lose yourself in that ocean, to forget where you end and others begin. Neptune in Aries changes everything. It's about spiritual individuation, the process of discovering and claiming your unique spiritual identity, your specific soul mission, your particular way of connecting with the divine. This isn't about ego. This is about purpose. This is about recognizing that while we are all connected, you have a specific spiritual signature, a unique frequency, a particular gift that only you can offer the world. And after March 30, you might find yourself suddenly consumed with questions like, what is my spiritual path? What is my unique way of connecting with the divine? What is my soul here to initiate? What spiritual territory am I meant to pioneer? This shift could feel disruptive, especially if you've been comfortable blending in, following others' paths, or hiding your spiritual light. Neptune in Aries doesn't want you to follow it, wants you to lead. It doesn't want you to blend it, wants you to stand out. It doesn't want you to hide it, wants you to blaze. You might find yourself drawn to new spiritual practices that feel more active, more embodied, more uniquely yours. You might feel called to break away from traditional spiritual communities to forge your own path. You might even discover aspects of your spiritual identity that surprise you, warrior qualities you didn't know you had, pioneering instincts you've never expressed. This transit is about spiritual courage, the courage to be uniquely you in your connection with the divine. And while that might sound beautiful, it can also be terrifying. Because true spiritual individuation means there's no one to hide behind, no crowd to blend into, no authority to defer to. It's just you and your direct connection with the universe. Are you ready to stand in that power? Are you ready to claim your spiritual identity? Because ready or not, Neptune in Aries is about to ignite that process. And what happens next might completely change how you see the world around you. Global consciousness is shifting into action. This isn't just about you. This is about all of us. When an outer planet like Neptune changes signs, it reshapes the collective consciousness, the shared dreaming of humanity. And the shift from Pisces to Aries is about to change how we approach spirituality, compassion, and healing on a global scale. For the past 14 years, Neptune in Pisces has created a collective atmosphere of compassion and unity, but also of passivity and sometimes victimhood. We've seen the rise of awareness around global suffering, increased empathy for those in need, and a growing sense of our interconnection. But we've also seen spiritual bypassing, wishful thinking, and a tendency to pray for change rather than create it. Neptune in Aries transforms this completely. The collective is moving from awareness to action, from empathy to empowerment, from connection to courage. This shift will play out over the next 14 years, but you'll start seeing signs of it immediately after March 30th. Look for the rise of spiritual warriors, people who combine deep compassion with fearless action. New movements that address suffering not just with prayers, but with bold initiatives. A growing impatience with spiritual ideas that don't translate to tangible change. The age of passive spirituality is ending. The era of the spiritual warrior is beginning. And this won't just change individual lives. It will change societies, policies, and perhaps the course of human history itself. The last time Neptune was in Aries, we saw spiritual revolutions that transformed the world. This time, with humanity's consciousness more evolved than ever before, the potential for positive transformation is even greater. But only if we embrace the fire. Only if we channel this energy with intention. Only if we're willing to act on our highest vision. Your dreams will get more vivid, and here's why. As we approach March 30, pay close attention to your dreams, both the sleeping and waking kind, because they're about to become more vivid, more intense, and more meaningful than ever before. Neptune governs the dream realm, the place where messages from your higher self and the collective unconscious flow into your awareness. When Neptune changes signs, the quality and content of these messages shift dramatically. You might find yourself having dreams that feel like missions, visions that come with instructions, intuitive hits that demand immediate action. Where dreams during Neptune in Pisces might have been beautiful but vague, symbolic but confusing, dreams during Neptune in Aries will feel direct, clear, and oriented toward action. Pay special attention to dreams about fire, about warriors, about breakthroughs, about sudden movements forward. These aren't just random images. They're your soul communicating with you in the language of Neptune in Aries, preparing you for the shift that's coming. And it's not just night dreams. Your daydreams will change too. You might find yourself visualizing success more vividly, imagining breakthroughs more clearly, seeing your ideal future with such intensity that it feels more real than your present circumstances. This is Neptune in Aries, working through you using the power of imagination, not as an escape, but as a launch pad for transformation. These visions aren't just fantasies, they're blueprints. They're not just possibilities, they're probabilities, if you have the courage to act on them. So keep a dream journal as we approach and move through this transit. Write down everything, no matter how small it seems. Look for patterns, for recurring symbols, for messages that feel urgent. Because your dreams right now aren't just processing the past, they're previewing the future. Your future, the one that's waiting for you to claim it. This aligns with the eclipse season, and it's not a coincidence. If you've been feeling like 2025 is a year of massive transformation, you're right. And it's not just because of Neptune entering Aries. This planetary shift is happening right after two powerful eclipses. A total lunar eclipse on March 14th, a solar eclipse on March 29th, just one day before Neptune makes its historic move. This is not random. This is not coincidence. This is cosmic orchestration at its most precise. The universe doesn't just throw these energies together haphazardly, it sequences them with purpose. The eclipses, especially the solar eclipse, just before Neptune enters Aries, act as cosmic reset buttons, clearing away old patterns and creating space for new beginnings. It's as if the eclipses are clearing the stage for Neptune's grand entrance, making sure you're ready to receive this new energy without the baggage of the past. Think of it this way. The lunar eclipse on March 14 helped you release old emotional patterns and illusions. The solar eclipse on March 29 is creating a new starting point in your consciousness. Then, on March 30, Neptune enters Aries, filling that fresh, clear space with new vision, new spiritual fire, new divine inspiration. It's like the universe is saying, first, let go. Then, reset. Now, create. This triple sequence of cosmic events makes late March 2025 one of the most potent periods for transformation in decades. And if you've been feeling the intensity building, if you've been sensing that something massive is about to shift, you're not imagining it. You're tuned in. You're ready. What you do with this energy, that's up to you. But know this: the universe has created the perfect conditions for a quantum leap in your spiritual evolution. The question isn't whether the opportunity is there. The question is, will you seize it? If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.